Hey, welcome back to the House of Cards. We are going to have a fun episode today. This is going to be my very first card show recap-ish kind of video for everybody. I decided to start videoing at the card shows that I have been dealing at. I've been dealing for quite a bit, but I decided, you know what, I think now's the time to sort of start figuring out how to capture these shows, because I think it's really interesting. I enjoy watching the card show, kind of dealer perspective videos on YouTube. So I figured, hey, maybe I should put some together since I'm doing these shows anyways. It might be kind of a cool, different twist on my content. So first off, I gotta ask you, like always, if you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, it'd be amazing if you could do that. I would really appreciate it. And if you like the video, feel free to hit the like button. That'd be amazing as well. Also comment, if you have anything to say about any of the deals that I've done or any of the cards that I have, maybe you can ask a question or pose, why did you do that? Or, I wouldn't have done that, or wow, that was a great deal, or whatever you want. All feedback is welcome. All feedback is great. All right, well, I first got to preface this with letting you know a couple of things that I kind of failed on this first video. First of all, the sound. I got to find a external microphone because the little GoPro that I was using didn't pick up sound very great. And I have it cranked up as high as I can on the video without it sounding terrible. But the viewpoint was right next to my my dollar boxes, so you'll hear kind of a lot of clickety clanking as some of the talking is going on, because those are people kind of shuffling through the cards in the dollar boxes. So just want to preface that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of narrate over top of the video to kind of give you some context as it's going here, since the conversations aren't super clear sometimes. We also have masks on, so it makes it a little bit harder to hear everything. So I'm gonna do my best to narrate. I've learned a lot of lessons from this first one. I actually do have quite a few shows coming up over the next few weeks, so I'm gonna get better and better, and eventually they'll be amazing. I don't have a cameraman or anyone to sit there and follow me around, so I'm just doing this by setting up a little tripod on my table and just doing the best I can. So anyways, wanted to give you guys a preface on that, so you're just not like, what is this janky video? But hopefully we'll be able to salvage it and make some pretty cool content. And the other part too is I only got about half of the show because the battery died. Another lesson learned. About hour and 45 minutes into the show is about a 6-hour show, so it's actually only about a third of the way in. But luckily it captured some of the biggest deals of the day, which were good ones that I am really excited to share with you guys. So anyways, without further ado, let's jump into the video, and I will kind of cut in and out and talk over as the deals are being done and the cards are being shown. I'll try my best to explain, all the details around each of the deals that happened during the show. All right, let it begin. All right. So you can see here this show is actually set up inside of a mall, which is interesting. And there's about 60 to 70 tables in total. So it's a decent sized show. It goes down really far and people kind of walk up and down and all around. And traffic was actually pretty good. It looks pretty bad this part, but there's a good amount of people. All right, so this guy, he's a seasoned collector, and he really wanted this Ronaldo silver PSA 9 I had from the 2016-17 select set. I had it for a really good price. I think it was like $65. So he obviously, knowing what he was looking for, he found that really quick and grabbed that from me. So kudos to him for knowing his stuff. I'll show a picture of the card here in a second. There it is. Beautiful card. Smart man, got a great deal. I got the card slightly under that, so I still made a profit on it. So overall, win-win. So this gentleman was eyeballing my Patrick Mahomes Optic Pink Hollow from 2017 Optic, his rookie. It was raw, and I bought it raw myself. It actually was in really good condition. He had a 2004-5 Mega Cracks Messi card from the Barca set, which I have a few of them, but it was a PSA 5, so a little bit of a lower grade, but it was a pretty good looking card. I didn't really see what was wrong with it, so I gave him about a $500 trade value on it. That's slightly under what they're doing on eBay, so he really wanted the Mahomes, so I told him we could do a trade plus cash on top of it for the Mahomes. So I was getting the graded Messi card plus cash, and he was getting the raw Optic Pink Hollow Mahomes card. So we were just doing the good old Venmo know how that always takes a second. It's kind of, it's smooth, but it's also a little clunky sometimes if you're not on top of it.
Even if it's just to communicate with it.
You can hear that clanking from my dollar boxes going through everything. I really don't know why this is taking us so long, but we both were trying our best to get it done in a quick manner. So the guy that's kind of lingering there with the drink in front of him, he was also the one who just bought the Ronaldo silver. So he also ends up doing a couple more things with me, but he was just kind of hanging out for a while, just, you know, talking shop. I have one more case too that's you can't see in this shot, that's on the other side of the case closest to the camera. So I had 3 total showcases. Here's the cards. So my thinking was I'm getting a graded Messi GOAT card, you know, rookie Messi card for a raw Mahomes card. I think you probably definitely get a 9, outside shot of a 9.5 if you do it to BGS, but you know, plus grading, plus everything, you know, you're still looking at a pretty good chunk of change to get that graded. Plus, I still, you know, got a higher valuation of it from what I bought it for. So I did a pretty good on that trade and picked up another Messi.
They're both kind of color matching. I mean, on that one for sure. Kind of on that one. Yeah.
So this guy's buying something out of the case that you can't see in the shot, which is my basketball case.
It's the move right now.
I believe he's getting
Keep it moving. Yeah, it's true. Get a quick picture.
a Jaw and a Zion. Yep. So both purple optics. The Jaw is a purple shock, and the Zion is the true purple. So we did both of those for $400, which was only $25 off of what I had stickered. So I still made out well on that, and the guy got 2 awesome cards.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, what do you think?
So this same guy that bought my Ronaldo silver PSA 9, he's looking at this Dak Prescott plus 2 raw Brady cards out of my, my bargain bins. The Prescott was just selling at almost $1,000 for the last 4 sales, and I had it stickered at only $750. So I told the guys, like, hey man, I can't give you a discount. I'll sell it to you at $750. You already know that's a good deal. So let's just go full price on everything that's stickered. And he agreed because he knew he was getting a killer deal on the Dak Prescott, because I didn't check comps after his big game against the Bucks. So this guy was smart and he knew right away what he was doing. So we ended up doing all those for $800. He got the nice Dak and 2 pretty awesome raw Brady cards.
Soft middies for 60?
Yeah, I'm fine with that. Yeah, nice pickup.
So this guy got some more rock, a couple of rock, one raw card.
He's on the rise,
Lubob,
I'm glad he's back.
PSA 9,
They're gonna have
a
nice
Herbert from a Chronicles. So just gave him that little lot of 3 cards for $60, which is, you know, about $5 less than what I had stickered. So I always try to cut deals with people, you know. If they're gonna buy multiple cards, I'll always give them a discount. I try to keep my prices very fair to start with, so I can't go too far down, but I'll definitely, you know, shave off 5, 10, 20 bucks depending on the, you know, the amount of the purchase. So this guy right here is this is the biggest trade of the day that we ended up doing. So this guy was just walking around and he said, hey, you know, I have some raw cards that I want to trade, and I'm looking for raw Russell Wilson and DK Metcalf cards. So he's going to come back into the picture here in a minute, but just to preface who he is, just remember that gentleman. So this guy in the blue was actually a customer of mine multiple times. He likes soccer a lot. He bought a Robert Lewandowski
trying to do recent comps on everything, so
Sorry.
do my best.
You bought a Robert Lewandowski. What
Easy
are
way
they
to
called?
remember.
The ones that everyone
What's your
likes.
name?
I can't. My
Kevin
brain
James.
isn't working. I'll remember in a second. He bought a Robert Lewandowski from me last show, and he came with some stuff that he wanted to see if I was interested in. He had his eyes on a couple of my cards, so I took a look at his stack. There's only really one card that I really was interested in, which I'll show you. But it was a 2005 LeBron James Topps, but first edition card, PSA 10, which I thought was a really cool card because I looked up the comps on it, not the comps, well, I looked at the comps also, but the pop report, and it was only a pop 7 in a PSA 10, so super low pop. It was a third-year LeBron, but you know, those first editions are super rare, and I thought it was a cool pickup. I think, you know, LeBron's obviously undervalued at the moment. I think as the season gets closer and then their inevitable, you know, run next year, I would assume, for a championship is going to definitely prop him up. So that was the one card that I saw out of his stack that I was really interested in. And I just remember what the card was that he bought. It was the Robert Lewandowski Kaboom. Sorry, I'm spacing out. So again, I've done deals with this guy a couple times. He's super nice, very fair. You know, we always work out good deals. So here we're just trying to figure out, you know, what in his stack maybe I might be interested in. I like to buy too at these shows. It's not just about selling. I got to keep fresh inventory, you know, constantly, because, you know, I'll end up selling, you know, 20, 30 cards during the show, and then, you know, if I don't replenish those, you know, I'm not going to have much, you know, to work with on the next show. So this was the LeBron that I picked out, and it was last sold at, I believe, $560. And he gave me a trade value of $450, and I was like, sure, sounds good. So I couldn't argue with that. But this is the kind of the lead up to the deal. So the deal was, you know, sort of bittersweet for me because it was definitely a card that I loved a lot. So you'll see here in a second of which one it is. And this guy really knows his soccer stuff. He's a good collector. He's not looking for the kind of the new stuff. He's looking for the classics and the GOAT players like Lewandowski, and as you'll see here, Maradona. So I'm checking out the LeBron that we were just talking about, just looking up some comps. I check out the pop first, just to kind of see. I wasn't super familiar with the first editions. Obviously, I knew they were more rare than just the base cards, so I wanted to see. And then as soon as it said pop 7, I knew right away that I wanted it.
Oh, yeah?
Well, they can't call it
Yeah, right.
They were 9.
World Cup year, we'll call it.
They weren't 10. They were 9. They were
Those are-
tough.
They're a grade, yeah, I know. All those 18 tips are rough.
So he's looking, but I already know what he wants. He knows what he wants too.
Who's your favorite player? Ronaldo. Ronaldo? Okay, yeah. You happy about the United transfer?
I don't mind it. Yeah, I don't mind it. I think it's pretty good.
I'm trying to be
It's romantic, you know?
Yeah,
Like,
that's
it makes sense, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like when Griffin
trying to be
came back from
engaging with all the
Mariners, they're like,
customers at my table. You can't see in the shop. There's probably like 4 or 5 people around the table. So while you're kind of, you know, doing comps and doing that stuff, you still want to engage with people, make them, you know, feel welcome, and I think that gets a lot of business done too, is when people actually enjoy hanging out at your table and talking with you.
Like, oh man,
That actually would have been like see Messi and Ronaldo play together.
So we're just talking some soccer right now.
I would have been like, I couldn't.
I had a feeling I had a table full of soccer lovers, so I can shoot the shit with them. You see the guy with the Sounders FC shirt on right there, so I knew I was amongst the soccer fans so we can all talk soccer and have some fun.
Mbappe leaves,
Yeah.
and then it's like, okay.
Yeah, he wants that Madrid move.
Yeah, I think that's a good. But if they can't win Champions League this year with that squad, I'm like,
He can't do it at
you
all.
guys are not gonna ever win.
You don't happen to have any Holland rookies at all, right?
This guy.
Oh, you know?
Actually, I have one that's not with me. I have the one finest.
I just put my scraps.
Yeah, this guy actually had a beautiful Holland Topps Chrome Sapphire. It's valued about 2,000, so I didn't really know. I didn't really want to get into that deep with it because 2,000 is a lot, and I think Holland's a little bit overpriced. Not saying he's not great, I just don't think that he's worth the prices he's commanding right now. I think he's going to come down to earth a little bit once people start realizing he's never going to win a trophy anytime soon. So again, just still checking comps. I didn't want to rush it. This guy's kind of lingering around all day. He wasn't in a rush, so we were both kind of just making sure the deal was right before we decided to do anything.
Perhaps. Are you over there? You want me to go over there in a minute or whatever? Yeah. Just because he's checking out one thing. Okay, go for it.
So this guy right there peeping in my case is actually the dealer on the other side of me. He just kept walking over, trying to jump into deals that I was doing, and I was getting a little bit annoyed, to be honest with you. I was just like, bro, just stay in your table. I'm not walking to your table trying to talk to your customers. And so I didn't know. I was just kind of like, all right, we gotta just kind of stay on your side. I'll stay on my side.
A 10 also. I don't know why I put the 9 on top. I should put the 10 on top. Yeah, 2 10. Yeah, there's a couple.
Well, I'll make this. I'll buy this. I'll come back because it's just so I'm good without free bet.
Okay.
If you want to buy this, I'll come right back. Do you want to hold on to it, or if you want to? Well,
Go ahead, go. Well, you can walk it around if you want to.
if you are. I mean, if you.
So
I'm not gonna sell it if you show that much.
that's my Maradona, my 1982
Happy is going to a good collector.
Calico Maradona, 81 I should say, sorry. I love that sticker. I got it from Spain, raw, graded it. It's 1 out of 6 in the whole world. It's an amazing card. It's $1,000. I had it stickered on it, and this guy paid me full sticker price for it. I knew he was a soccer collector, so it didn't sting as much as it going to some, flipper or something like that. So, $1,000 cash for a sticker I picked up for $30, graded it for, 75 or whatever I graded it for. I mean, that was a pretty good turn. And I then turned around and ended up buying his LeBron from him for $450, even though their most recent comp was $560. So I think I got it for a pretty good deal. So we just kind of exchanged hands back and forth, which was really kind of unnecessary, but the same money went back and forth. But anyways, all went well. I felt like we both did good, and I think we were both happy with the deal, and that's what matters.
Kind of averaging like 10, 15 bucks. So.
Yeah. What is your bottom line number?
So this guy was looking at my Topps Chrome X-Fractor Russell Wilson rookie patch. It was numbered out in 99. He said he had the whole kind of rainbow. There's like 4 or 5 different ones. There's like a refractor, a base one, the X-Fractor, and a couple more. But anyways, he needed it for his set, which I liked, so I gave him a little bit of a deal on it. He also threw in a Tim Duncan rookie Fleer Metal card just for like a $10 valuation. So just a nice card to throw into my bargain bin. I think people like to see kind of a variety of stuff in there. So I took $10 off, he gave me the Duncan, and I sold him the Russell.
What's your name, boss? John.
Nice card.
James. Go Hawks.
Of course, this was the day before Sunday of the first day of the NFL, so there's the Duncan. And so, obviously Russell, jumped in price after this day because he had a great game. So I think Russell's going to continue to go up. So I think you're buying Russell right now is smart. So there's the guy from earlier. If you remember, I told you don't forget about him.
Yeah, I mean,
Just a couple, yeah. But,
where are you from?
the extra, on the front.
So
What did you want to do in trade?
this deal's going to take a little bit to get done, but this was a big deal, so I want to kind of, walk you guys through sort of my thought process here. Right now, he's pointing at all the cards he wants in my case. And what's interesting about him is that he only wants raw cards, and he only wants DK Metcalf and Russell Wilson cards. So he's basically picking out every single raw DK and Russell that I have in the case. So just kind of pulling out different DKs, and he has a lot of these. This guy's a true collector. He doesn't care about graded cards or anything like that. He wants them raw. He doesn't grade them. He just keeps them raw. And you'll kind of understand, why I was very excited to get this deal done here in a second, because he was shopping around a card that I really have a lot of interest in. So right now I'm pulling out all of my DKs and Russells that I have in my case.
It's a first-year prism, so that's why they have a little bit more premium. So the very first prism section as well. So that's kind of the reason why.
So we're just talking about some of the Russells. So everything he's interested in is about like 200 to 250 raw value. So there's a couple Topps Chrome Russell Wilsons. There's a DK. The probably most expensive card in there was the DK Rookie Kings card, which is numbered out of 20. It's an autograph card from the Optic set.
They're like, yeah, me too. I think there's a lot of pop type rolling right now. So I think they're a little bit inflated because everyone loves it so much. But I'm just worried Penny's going to start printing this in.
So we're just kind of, shooting the breeze here, just kind of talking about different cards and why I think their values are where they are. And
I hate when they do that. When you're just like, they don't put like pack odds on boxes or anything, so you don't know like what's the chase.
I don't even know what I'm saying, but I'm just trying to keep him engaged and make sure that this deal closes, because he had something that I really, really wanted, and he was trying to make it work too by just picking out all the different cards that we can kind of use to get closer to the valuation of his card, because his card's a pretty high value card, and I think he knew that I wasn't going to give him straight cash for it, but I was, able to kind of knock a lot of the cost off from the cash side by, trading as much as possible. And he wanted, to trade, so it wasn't like, he was forcing himself to trade. He definitely was looking to do some trade, but I think he also helped me out a little bit by picking out a couple of things that maybe he didn't like need or want, but he's like, okay, I'll take that too, that's fine. So it continued to help me sort of build more, value on my side to get the deal done as well. So.
What other cards do you have in your case?
Mostly just soccer.
Soccer, no football.
So now we're looking in my my value boxes. I do have slap cards in there and stuff, so it wasn't like anything crazy. And I pulled everything out of my case that I had, just kind of this stuff that I didn't put out. That maybe there was something in there. So I found a Russell Wilson orange Topps Chrome, which was valued at about 200. So I was able to kind of throw that in there to help get it done. So right now I'm just kind of looking, because the guy really wants to get the deal done, so I'm just kind of scrambling around trying to find anything that I can kind of throw into the deal, so you can kind of see him just, looking at the valuation here, like, okay, you got this, you got this, you got this. So, and then we threw the Russell orange in.
Okay, let's go.
So now he's adding in the DK Metcalf Optic Hollow, which I had in there for like $90, so it wasn't anything like too big. So I'm trying to get the valuation together here, give him a fair value in trade, and then whatever the difference was, I would be willing to pay in cash. So I gave him a valuation of those cards at $11.50, which is only about $50 off what the stickers were, if I remember correctly. So it wasn't like a huge discount, but I wanted to give him room to counter. So I didn't want to come down to my lowest right out the gate because, if he countered, then I'd be under what I'd want to be at. And he knew he had the more valuable card, so he was definitely trading down and I was trading up. So usually in that sense, you always want to give them the better deal if you're trading up.
Like I saw the dad press that earlier for $750 and they selling for $1,000 last year. It's all about timing. I know it's all right. First game, everything goes up.
So we're just making sure there's nothing else that he wanted to add in.
You can just crack it out.
So he's telling me he hates graded cards right there, and I was just like, well, you could just crack it out of the case and keep it like that if you want. Obviously, that's not the way to do it, but we were just kind of having fun. And the fact that he wanted raw cards, to me, is just pretty cool and he wasn't getting them raw to grade. He just wants to keep them raw. Some people just like collecting raw. There's nothing wrong with that. So he's just making sure I don't have any other Russells hiding anywhere or DKs hiding anywhere. So I'm frantically going through my stuff just to make sure I didn't miss anything. I'm like, oh, maybe there's something in here. These are like my slabs that are like under $50. So he doesn't want slabs anyway, so I don't want something with slabs.
Hey man, I get it.
Sorry about the background.
People like that about LeBron too.
Plowing through my box there.
I'm like, well, he was kind of good. He won championships. You got a raw Russell, or a clean one.
I'm showing him a raw tops Russell. It's like worth like $35. He's just like, eh.
Why like the hobby? I mean, he gets a little bit of love, but like not enough.
It's fine to get them.
Sort of, yeah. If he can just have like a good playoff run.
Just having a good conversation, really keeps people engaged, and don't just sit there and let people like stare at your case and not engage in, because trust me, you're not going to get a deal done if that's the way you do it. So he's laying out the cards. He's doing a quick calculation.
Nice one. What do you got this one? I put it at 2, but 200? Yeah.
So that was the orange Russell that was in my case that I didn't have a price tag on. So I really wasn't planning on selling it. I just brought it just in case, and actually I'm glad I did. Sometimes it's good to have stuff that's kind of like, yeah, you don't really want to sell it, but if the right deal comes along, maybe you can, pull it out of the secret stash. I definitely have a lot of cars that I just don't want to bring to the shows because I know I'll end up selling them if I put them out. So I try not to even put them out, but sometimes it's good to have them with you just in case something really big comes up. Deal's done. That was great.
Yeah, I'm going to.
So there's all the Russells. You got
Cards,
3
like
of
stuff
the
I can't put in my
2012
showcase.
tops,
Like I
the
sold my
pink
Maradona, which is like my dream,
camo.
like,
Those are the paper, not chromes.
I got for $1,000.
The optic hollow, DK. I did a really bad job showing everything. And then there was that one. That's the Rookie Kings DK, which I really liked. So I was kind of sad to see that go. But the beautiful card that I ended up getting was definitely worth those cards because I wasn't I love Russell Wilson, trust me, he's my PC, but I'm not like attached to those cards as much, and the possibility of what I got and getting it graded, and then there it is, 2003 Topps Chrome LeBron James. It was in pretty good condition. It was super well centered. I gave him $500 cash. He only asked for a $1,500 valuation on it, which I thought was super fair because they were selling upwards of $2,000 raw. and especially one with that good of centering is going to probably fetch close to 2,000, just because that's the main thing people are looking at. So, you know, getting that about $1,000 in trade value for those cards, plus I gave him 500 cash, so you know, $1,500 total in trade and cash for a card that if I grade it and it comes back a 9 at the low end, is going to be worth probably $3,000 to $4,000. If I get a 9.5 at BGS, it could be upwards of $6,000 or higher. So I felt the value was totally there. I've actually already sent that off to BGS to get graded, so we'll see what happens. Well, that was it. Sorry it wasn't as great as it could have been, but I promise I'm going to get better. I'm going to upgrade the equipment to make sure I got the right sound and everything next time. Doing my best here, guys, just trying something new for you. And I'm excited, though, to continue to show these different dealer perspective videos. Outside of what you saw in the video, there were a few more deals that got done. I was able to snap pictures of, because this is after the camera died on me. So we'll go through a few images here of some cards that I ended up selling. So here you go. This first one is a 3-card lot that I sold. This was the Kevin De Bruyne Gold PSA 9 from the 18-19 set, a Cristiano Ronaldo red press proof, and a Demetrius Johnson Gold Topps Chrome, which is a really cool card, and he's a local boy here in Washington, so I knew that card would sell when I bought it for a really low price. So I ended up giving this guy a really good deal. I think I did all 3 of these cards for $130, so pretty sweet deal for him, and I still ended up making some money on that as well, so win-win. All right, here is another one. So I ended up selling my my 3-panel Ronaldo, Zlatan, and Beckham card here to the dealer that was actually in the video. The one that I said was behind me. He kept kind of walking over and talking to the customers at my table. He ended up buying this from me for $700 cash. I had it stickered to $750, so I gave it to him for $700. I think that was a fair price. You know, it was a nice way to kind of end the day, because it was a little bit later in the day. He ended up just pulling the trigger on it. I think he was itchy to buy something. I picked up an 8.5 recently, so even though it's a PSA 9, is obviously a better grade and worth more money, I felt okay selling it because I did have a SJC 8.5 already. So again, it made it a little bit easier to let go of this one. Here's a nice Russell I sold to a really nice couple. This is the die cut from the Topps Chrome set, so it's a nice kind of insert Russell. This was a BGS 9.5. You know, nothing special. These aren't too hard to find or to get, but they wanted it. I said, hey, give them a decent price on it, and they picked it up. So this one is showing actually a deal that we got done with this gentleman. So the 2 cards on the bottom, which is the John Morant Silver and the Tom Brady, that is the National Treasures Flawless Collegiate. That one is the Sapphire, numbered out of 10. That's a BGS 9.5, quad 9.5, so true gem. In exchange, he wanted the LeBron, that is the Upper Deck Victory, 2003, so the rookie, and that was a PSA 10. And then the Michael Jordan sticker with the ST qualifier, which was a PSA 7. We ended up doing this, and I believe he gave me the difference in cash. So I valued the Brady at about $1,500 because they were selling raw for about $500. I think the jaw was like $300, and my 2 cards were roughly around $1,100-$1,200 each. So there was about an $800 difference there that he covered. So I think this was a pretty cool trade. You know, Brady is, you know, high on my radar right now, so I'm picking up Brady stuff, especially this kind of really rare stuff of him. Jaw, that card's super liquid, so I can move that. The LeBron is interesting because there's really only one comp in a PSA 10 that sold back in May, so you know, it's hard to find a comp on that. It's like a pop 30 something, so not too many. And then the Michael Jordan stickers, obviously, you know, moves pretty easily. And then here's one more. This was a DK Metcalf green prism, 2019 rookie, PSA 10, and then a PSA 9 Colin Kaepernick Topps Chrome Refractor. So this guy was an actual dealer at another table. He really wanted the DK, so I gave him the DK and the Kaepernick for $400, which is great. I got both those cards raw and graded them myself, so you know, probably I was only into those cards for $50 plus $12 grading, so $400 in my pocket, probably spent less than $75 on both those cards. So felt pretty good about it. And that was a great deal for me as well. All right. Well, that's a wrap. Let's put a nail on this one, and we will get on to the next dealer show. Hopefully sometime next week after this weekend. Doing the show on Saturday, and it's a pretty big one. It's the Washington State Collectors Association annual show being held at the convention center out here. So we'll see how it goes. I got a table. Don't know what to expect. I've never been to it before, but it should be cool. So we will leave it there. If you haven't yet subscribed, I would love it if you would do that. If you made it all the way through the end of this video, hit the like button. I think it was good enough to deserve a like. Anyways, we will see you on the next one. Hope you guys have a great week. Peace.